Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video we're going to be talking about how to make any song better just by adding some seventh chords. Now obviously adding notes to chords is just a matter of preference, however I think adding sevenths to chords, or at least having this in your arsenal to be able to do this, is a great way of making things sound much better, or making songs sound different to how they might have originally sounded. So in this video I'm going to take the song Imagine by John Lennon and I'm going to show you how adding sevenths can really change the sound and perhaps make the song better, dare I say. So in this particular video we're going to be talking about major sevenths, minor sevenths and dominant sevenths, and all of these sound more complicated than they actually are, because what they mean is that you're taking a regular major or a minor chord and you're just adding the seventh note in the scale. Which type of seventh that you add depends on what type of chord you're playing, and this is all that dominant, major and minor sevenths actually mean. So I'll show you what I mean. In order to make a regular major chord, you play any key on the piano and then you have a gap of 3 keys and then play the next key, and then have a gap of 2 keys and then play that key, and that will give you any major chord. So I'll show you this. If you start on a C, then you have a gap of 3, play the next note, and then a gap of 2, and play this note. This gives you a regular major chord. To turn this into a minor chord, all you have to do is have a gap of 2, and then a gap of 3, and this will give you a minor chord. So these are kind of the opposite of each other because the gaps are in the opposite places. For major you have a gap of 3 and then a gap of 2, and for minor you have a gap of 2 and then a gap of 3. So this deals with regular major and minor chords. But then, in order to turn that into a seventh chord, we not only have to have note 1, 3 and 5 of the scale, we have to have note 7 as well. So if we add a note on top of a major chord with another gap of 3, this becomes a major seventh chord. If we change the seventh, so it's a gap of 2 instead, this becomes a dominant seventh. And if we have a minor chord and then have a gap of 2 with a 7 at the top, this is a minor 7 chord. Now I know this is probably quite a quick rundown of what these 3 types of chords are, but in previous videos I have talked about different types of chords, and I do have a video on chords, so go and watch that if you are more confused. Also, you are welcome to comment and I will be sure to get back to you if you are stuck with any of this. So sevenths actually don't change the chord at all, you're just adding notes to the chord, which is why they can be used as a replacement for the original chords. In the song Imagine, it starts with the G major chord, and then it goes to a C major chord, and then you get those 3 notes before you go back again. Now we can actually rearrange this C chord so it's a bit closer to that G chord. We know that the notes in a C major chord are these 3, which is C, E and G. If I take this G off the top and put it on the bottom, I'm actually not moving that far from the original G chord, which is better. So if we try just play like that, then we still get kind of the same sound, and that sounds like the original song. Now we can take these types of chords and we can add some notes to them. Now you would only ever really use a dominant seventh when that is chord 5 of the original key, and this is in the key of G. So chord 5 would be a D. So if we see a D chord, then we can use the dominant seventh. Every other type of chord will either be a major seventh or a minor seventh, depending on whether the original chord was a major chord or a minor chord. So G and C are both major chords, so we're going to use major sevenths for both of these. Now for a G chord, if we add a gap of 3 on top, we get an F sharp like this, and that's the 7th chord. And with C, if we play a C chord and add a gap of 3, then we get an extra B. And once again, we can rearrange these notes, so we can add a B there if we want. And this, to me, just adds a little bit more depth and character to the song. So I'll now demonstrate the song with these added sevenths in. It adds a bit more of a jazzy feel, which I think is quite stylistic of pared down jazzy playing, which I think is nice. Now you can apply this same logic to all of the other chords in this particular song. So for the middle section you'll get something like this. Which I think sounds better than if you were to play. And instead you get. It just adds a little bit more character, and also you can interchange them, so you don't always have to use these added seventh chords. You can add some of them in like this. And that just adds the possibility to change the song up just a little bit. Now you can apply this to any song, and obviously it's all down to personal choice about how you play the song or how you play any song, but this just gives you some extra tools to play with. If you have any experience with added notes in songs, then please let me know in the comments. I'm interested to know about your experience. And before you go on to this video, be sure to hit me with the like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.